The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Tom O'Brien Show is produced every business day after the market close. Tom takes your phone calls from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time using the data available at that time.
Let's go to Fred in St. Pete. Hey, Fred, what's going on?
Hey, my man Tom, how you doing?
I'm doing great. You having a good day out there?
No complaints of being positive. Just started listening to your show recently, and you've been more spot on than everybody else on the TV. And you just came across real positive.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, after I listened to you, I got hooked on. I had to track you down and find you on the internet and everything else.
Well, you know, I got to give you this disclaimer, because this is what it is. Fred, this is like Hotel California. Once you check in, you can't check out, you know.
I see that. It's like a drug.
And now, here's Tom O'Brien.
Welcome, folks. This is Tom O'Brien of TFNN. We go 5 days a week. We go 2 hours a day. We go 24 hours a day on the internet at TFNN.com. Always remember, folks, whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows. Hope everyone had a great day, safe day. Let's make it a great night, folks. Let's take a look at one of our 4 agreements. Ask for what you want. This is a great card, folks. Find the courage to ask for what you want. Others have the right to tell you yes or no, but you always have the right to ask. Likewise, everyone has the right to ask you for what they want, and you have the right to say yes or no. What this does, folks, it get rid of the gray in life, the gray in life in general. Keep it black and white. Makes things a lot easier. Market-wise, let's take a look at it out here. We had the Dow up 20, NASDAQ up 14, S&P's flat. Gold contract up $48, trading at $1,841. Silver up 80 cents at $41.35 an ounce. Platinum up $34, trading out at $1,856 an ounce. Copper up 5 pennies at $4.14 a pound. Light sweet crude up $1.57, trading out at $88.84 a barrel. Bonds up 1.5 trading out at 138.13. Dollar index up 23 ticks at 74.05. The euro's down 6 at 144, and the yen is down 17, folks, at 76.66. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks. Want to know what's going on in your world? In the world of the S&Ps, let's take a look at them. What do you have? Had a high out here today of 1220. You closed on the cash S&P at 1292. We did 1 billion shares. That 1 billion shares, folks, is going against some monster volume on the way down. When we take a look at this, bottom line is that we get a weak market. Bottom line wants to bounce, though. We're at 1 billion. You're going against about 1.4, 1.5 billion out there. That's on your S&P. We go to the Dow Industrials, same type of setup in the Dow. What you have with the Dow, up 20 bucks. You know, Dow got as high as 11,630, closed out at 11,559. And by the way, that move, folks, that whole move, up, down, and around, at 3:30 Eastern Time, we're at, we're at 2:30 Eastern Time, you're at 511. It shoots up to 11,630 and then basically gives it up coming into the close. NASDAQ composite. What we did with the composite out here, composite goes up 14 bucks, closing out at 25.76. We did 1.8 billion. That baby's going into 2.5. The NASDAQ composite is inside the range, and this little baby is humming higher, but the weakness is extraordinary, and that's just, so what you have here is, number one, it can be in the consolidation, meaning it just comes back to the lows, hammers out those lows, tests those lows, or it's going to be building cause to do what? To do a larger ABC structure on the way down. Now, let's go to the gold market, because here's the divergence, and there's some good divergence out here today, folks, and this is what it is. I was on CNBC this morning at 6:30. If you'd like to see that clip, you can just go to the front page of our website at TFNN. It's right under breaking news. Now, the gold market, up 49 bucks today, $1,840. You got to remember, we went from a price point of 1917 down to 1705. We're coming in to the downdraft with 174,000 contracts versus 441,000. Now, the way this is set up, folks, is that you can absolutely test the 1856, which is the swing point 80. I don't want to see it test the highs right now. Well, if it tests the highs, let's see. If it tests the highs, tomorrow would be okay. September would not be okay, and this is why. Right now, well, wouldn't be okay to test the high if you're bullish in the metals market. Because this is what you have. We have volume at the highs in gold. We have volume off the highs in gold. When you have them off the highs, what ends up happening is you have a larger correction. When you have volume at the highs, you'll go back to those highs. That means the market's not over. Now, the reason I'm saying it'll have one more day is this. Because of the volume that we had in August, it's really going to be hard to get that pressed up in September. And if you test a high at the beginning of September, the statistics, the probability statistics go down quite a bit. So we'll leave that for the bulls and bears, straighten it out as where this baby's going to go. Well, I'm going to make the case that we're going to come down, and I'll tell you why. If we go over to the bond market, you take a look at the bond market. The bond market right now, folks, traded up 1 point and 20 ticks. Now, what bonds are doing, we did 362,000 contracts. Bonds want to go test the 140-106 level. The S&P itself can't hold price. That's saying the market's weak. When the market's weak, what do people do? They go into treasuries. Bottom line, why do they go into treasuries? Because they want their money back. Bottom line, if you hold the treasuries, great, you get it back. You're paying $138,000 for a $100,000 bond. Now where do we go? Well, you know what, folks? We go over to the U.S. dollar. Because what you have here, and this is where folks kind of, not only miss the bond market, but the move in the bond market has a huge amount to do with what? With the U.S. dollar. Why, folks? Well, what happens is this. You cannot buy treasury bonds without buying them with the U.S. dollar. The U.S. dollar, folks, okay, you hear everywhere is at lows. The bottom line, the U.S. dollar is not at lows. The U.S. dollar is trading at 74.00. Not that that's huge. It's certainly not huge, but it is certainly not at the lows either. What you have, the lows on the dollar were generated in 2008. That's pretty dramatic, folks, okay? So the divergence goes like this. We're at 74 flat out. The 75.64 wants to be tested. We'll see whether it can get up to that 77.17. You have a move like that, and what ends up happening is this, is that as it goes up into the higher levels, bottom line, commodities themselves are priced in U.S. dollars, and commodities absolutely cannot stand a strong dollar. Inside the commodity market here today, this is what you had. Gasoline was up big. Gasoline was up 3%. Gold was up 2.9. Silver was up 2.1. Natural gas 2.1. Heating oil 1.8. Copper 1. The rest of them were down, up fractionally. What you'll see here as this baby shakes out, folks, is that the way that this market is set up right now is that it's trying to grind higher. We're at Tuesday right now. We'll see whether it can grind, 5, 6, 10 more S&P points. But the bottom line is that you're going to see this baby fall apart very quickly. When this happens, it will be really quick. Why am I saying that? Well, if you're in front of a machine just the last half hour, you can see how fast the acceleration can come down. Now, if you want to separate fact from fiction out here today, and I'm talking about fundamental fact from fiction, check this out. This is pretty amazing. So this morning, you had one of the Fed governors on CNBC. Steve Leisman was interviewing him. And he basically said that the bottom line is that he thought we could be more accommodative. As soon as he said that, gold took off topside. The Fed meeting minutes came out at 2 o'clock this afternoon. And if you actually read the minutes, you'll see that you can separate the fact from the fiction. The fact, folks, was that this was one of the first times that 3 separate members went against. Now, what I'm talking about is do you favor policy that has cheaper money or policy that you start bringing the interest rate either tighter or you tell the folks you're going to bring it tighter. Well, what ends up happening is this. The bottom line, it was the first time that 3 Fed officials went against Bernanke, and you'll be able to see when you read that through that it doesn't, well, my take on it, it doesn't matter what the Philly Fed governor said today. The bottom line is that it's going to be hard-pressed looking at the Fed governors right now that they're actually going to do a QE3. What you do have in the marketplace, however, is this. You have in the marketplace the aspect, well, not the aspect, that what Bernanke did is that he changed the meeting from a one-day meeting to a two-day meeting. Bottom line, when you wrap it all together, it's, to me, it's not going to matter. The market right now is weak going up there. My take is that you're not going to have this QE3. They might need a two-day meeting just to get everything clear as to what Bernanke's saying. Let's go to William in Clearwater. Hey, William, what's going on?
Hey, Tom. How are you today?
I'm doing great. You having a good day out there?
I am.
There you go.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
I just sold CPO, corn products.
Okay.
I sold the put before expiration, had it put to me, and then sold it today this morning.
Okay.
And so I'm up about 10%. I'm thinking about letting it fall back another $2 or $3 and selling the puts again. I wonder what your thoughts are.
Let's take a look. You get Corn Products International. What this company does, folks, is refined corn, produces sweeteners and starches. The low is $33. The high is $59. They pay a 1 3/10% dividend. Okay, so what he did here is he sold the put. So I guess you got a put to, which is beautiful, on August 26th, right?
For 45.
The 45. And what ended up happening, folks, is that he also got the premium on the 45. What kind of premium did you get?
I got $1.
Oh man, that's awesome, man. So that means that means he really owns it at 44, folks. Okay. He moved it out today, so he made $3. That's a beautiful thing. Yeah, I mean, what you want to happen first is this, William. This wants to go back to the $44.36. If it tests it with lighter volume, right? Yeah, sell the put ASAP. And if it tests it with lighter volume, you're not going to get put to it. That's the way that's set up right now. Because when you're selling puts, you really don't want to put to you, do you?
Either way, I'm happy to own it because I'll then sell the calls, or I'll sell the stock.
This is, see, okay, folks, in the option market, and if you haven't listened to Don Kaufman, who absolutely has the best option show on the planet, it was today, noontime, right at TFNN. When you're selling puts, you're supposed to want to put to you. This stock right here, I would not want put to me. This stock's in big trouble. This could be a monster ABC down. You stay right there. We'll go over when you come back. This is Tom O'Brien. This is TFNN. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. You stay right there, folks. We're coming right back.